Hey, you guys, I'm going to come back in, okay? Camera's acting up. Hi, you guys. How you doing? Sorry about that little mishap. But, you know, I always have to have technical difficulties. Hi, camera looks good? Okay, good. I just had to come back in. It was stupid. It's stupid, stupid, stupid. Okay, wait. I have to shut the music off. And we're done. So, how's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Can you see everything? Everything good? So glad you guys are here. I have a lot of stuff to tell you. A law. It's a law. But first, oh, they did? That's great, Alma. I'm glad. I just learned how to do it. So now I'm going to be doing shorts and stuff because it's supposed to boost my stuff up. We'll see. But anyway, speaking of which, I want to take this moment to thank all of the people, Alma, and others who have supported me in the recent months. I have met most of my goals on Facebook as far as how fast I could meet the requirements to earn the money and all of that stuff. So I want to thank you guys for that. It really makes me want to come back on and keep doing this. I get real excited and about advocacy and just helping you guys and trying to show you how to go through it. So by you guys supporting my channel through Buy Me a Coffee or buying the stars when you see them pop up on Facebook, it really, you have no idea how much it helps. So can't post comments to some, I don't even understand what that means. I hate this. I don't understand. But anyway, so I want to thank you guys again and again and again from the bottom of my heart. You have no idea how much it means to me. I've also increased some of my subscribers on YouTube, which I'm trying to hit the 500 mark. So I'm hoping that maybe the reels will help because I'm also posting my reels to YouTube. So you guys are doing it for me. You really are. And I know summer's coming and stuff, but I'm gonna be here all summer. Unlike the schools. I'm gonna show you how to get them. So anyway, I want to thank you for that. But now you guys, while we're talking about, I have an agenda, but my agenda is really based on what you guys want to know. So I create a spot for me to tell you guys stuff, and so I open with a way for you guys to participate. And the more of you guys that participate, just ask me a question whenever you feel like it. And I will respond to you and I'll try to get you the information you need to answer your question right away. So you can leave here and go do the thing I'm telling you to go do. Always remember to do what I tell you to do. Speaking of which, Alma, did you send that complaint in? Did you do it? Did you read the complaint? I know it's long, but I get real. See, here's my whole thought process behind writing complaints. The devil is in the details. Okay. The more information you let the state know that you know about what the school was supposed to do and didn't do, and you can explain it to them, then they're screwed because now the state can't do a workaround whatever you're trying to say. Okay. And then when the state does that, good. Because now we file a complaint against the state for not doing their job because they must investigate every single allegation you make. You make an allegation that they didn't implement the IEP, yes, just still sending the evidence. Good. And I did hear from OSEP. I just sent them another email about Massachusetts. I'll get into that in a minute. But they're there. So anytime if you can't get the person, you let me know and I'll show you how to get the person on the horn to answer you. They are there, so not to worry. And there's so many things we can do to hurt them. Really. If they want to play around with our kids, then let's rock and roll. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine. Because don't nobody care over here. But did you understand, Alma, what I was writing and why I wrote it the way I did and how I proved that they didn't evaluate in all areas of suspected disability? You see how I did that? Alma is one of my biggest supporters, guys. So I helped her with her complaint, which I don't have a problem doing. Somebody like her that's showing this much support, hey, I'm all in, because this end of it for me is way easy. Okay, I can whip out a complaint real quick. I'm not gonna do it in just cause. I'm gonna do it because I want to do it. I'm not obligated to anybody but Tammy. And if somebody is showing me that type of support and is that anxious and willing to learn, yeah, I'm gonna help them a little bit more. And that's how I roll. So, but I try to give all of the information that I'm doing. I try to tell you guys everything. Yes, Sammy, I'm helping myself. That's right. That's good. Oh, you are? Now, you have to remember about AI, guys. AI is garbage in and garbage out. If you don't ask AI the right questions, you're not going to get the right answer. You're going to get an answer that's, ambiguous. And then you go put it in your complaint, and guess what you didn't do? No details. There's no devil in them details. So, yeah, you got to be careful with AI, okay? You know what? Maybe next week I'll do a whole thing on AI and how I use it. And I'm used every day because I pay for my subscription. That's why I need help. Okay, there's hair all over the place. Oh, you guys like my earring? I just made these. Wait, I'll show you my earrings. I'm so proud of these little puppies. They're gonna be on my website. So anyway, really, I'd rather sweat than have this hair in my face. Oh. So hi, Barbara. We'll be doing you too in a couple of weeks. Okay. So anyway, yeah, so I think I'm going to do, if you guys want me to show you what AI is, because it does help you. It does help you look for information. I use it to look for information. Like on Massachusetts, I found some stuff. And it's just to open it. It's open right now. It's just I don't have my summer collection. I got a whole bunch of shit. I got a whole bunch. So I have crochet tops. I'm going to have new bracelets, new hats, different kind of hats. The hats are gorgeous and they're stiff brim. So it's like really cool. I love my hats and I learned how to do them real quick. So anyway, and you guys, you can check me out on my Instagram too, because I just started posting stuff on there, but I'm real excited. So yeah, so we're going to talk about, AI and how you can use AI to your benefit. Okay. Now, a couple of things happened this week. First of all, let me just tell you who I am. My name is Tammy Joya, and I'm an advocate. And I've been an advocate for over 30 years. I've represented children in Massachusetts for most of those years. And I've represented them all types of disabilities, from dyslexia to autism to Down syndrome. I secured private placements, residential placements. I've secured services within the public schools. And I've won a few cases without even going to hearing. I've won lots of complaints. I like complaints. Complaints are my forte. If I have to choose between a complaint and going to hearing, I'm always going to choose a complaint. And my goal is to teach you guys how to write the complaint so you can get the success that I get. Now, even when you get to success, you have bumbling idiots that work for the Department of Education that don't know what their job function is. Clearly, they don't know how to monitor anybody, and that's how they get in trouble. And here's my new thing, guys. So that's what I've been doing all my life, is this. And so my new thing is, if the states don't want to do their job, not a problem. There's a cray-cray man sitting over there in D.C. His name is Robert Kennedy Jr. Yeah. He is nutsy cuckoo, and he's part of the whole regime that's up there, and they want to cut everything that has to do with human services. And believe me when I tell you, if they finally get a clue as to how much money is dumped into IDEA, they're coming for it hard. Okay, So if the states don't want it, that's fine. I'll tell you guys how to send all of this information over to that administration that's in office right now. And if my philosophy is this, if my kids aren't getting it, nobody's getting it. So that means there won't be state special ed directors, there won't be special ed teachers, there won't be special education. Because guess what? They're going to say they don't have any money. But you know what they can't say? They can't say they didn't violate the law because they didn't have any money, because the federal government said no. Because most of the money that the states get for special education comes from the states. It's a small percentage. I mean, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money. But it's a small percentage of money when you compare it to what the states are actually paying for education, special ed and regular ed. Okay. I think someone told me, or I heard it was 92%. That's what the states pay. Okay. So idea money when you look at the bigger picture on a state level, it's not that much money, but it is a lot of money. It's still a lot of money. And it does help out the states. So I can't take it anymore with this. I know DC, I know. We can't even talk about that because I will go on a tangent, and I'm telling you, this will be a whole different kind of show. So I'm not doing that. But yes, so I'll help them in order to make sure my kids, and I'm telling DC, that's what I'm doing. You people got exactly 2 seconds to straighten these morons out, or I package this all up. Sorry, guys. I package this all up and I send it over to Robert Kennedy Jr. I don't even care. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's a ding dong. And I'm good. I'm good for it. So test me. Fafo me. Go ahead, Fafo. Yes, that's what I do. I don't care. And I know a lot of people are like, well, Tammy, that's going to hurt a lot of kids. Listen, here's the other thing. 0 from 0, guess what that equals? 0. There's no guarantees because I didn't do that your kid's going to get anything, that you're going to have less of a fight. You're not going to have less of a fight. It's going to be the same fight on a different day. Because those people are greedy. They don't care. The people that work for your schools, they're greedy. 90% of them, not all of them, but 90% of them are lazy as hell. They don't want to educate children. They don't. But there's a new dawn. There's a new day dawning. Okay. So what's going to happen? Like I told you guys before, I believe what's going to happen is we're going to start doing public school virtually. That's what's going to end up happening. We're not going to have, if we have a public school, there's not going to be very many kids in it. Most of the kids are going to be at home doing this at home. Charter schools are doing it. Pennsylvania has 2 or 3 of them, free public schools in your home. The charter schools do it. You can set your own schedule as to when you can do stuff, when you could take a class. So, and now they have it for special education. Ooh, because you know why? Because they can't offer virtual school just for typical kids. That would be like, how do you say, discriminatory? Because the only way you have access to something is if you don't have a disability. That's discrimination. Okay? Your kid has the same right to the same services and supports and education that their non-disabled peers get. So yes, there it is available. And you need to check it out in your state. Because if it was me and my kid be at home, where it's nice and safe and I can see everything going on with these teachers. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. To prove my theory, I'm going to talk about Q Global. I talked about it on my reels. And I can actually show you. So the schools are saying, oh, no, we can't do that. Because what did one of the schools tell my parent? Oh, it loses fidelity. It doesn't lose fidelity. You're stupid. That's what that means. That was a nice way of saying that you send me to a profile viewer won't show up unless the stream is public. I did that. Anyway. So the reason why the schools are saying that, oh no, we can't do that because it basically what they're trying to say is it loses something in translation. That's cow manure. Okay, that's what that is. Because here's the thing. The leading company that the major test developers trust has developed what's called Q Global, which means They can access, they can do it virtually, okay? The test is seen by virtually on the screen, okay? Just like we're doing right now. And the kid takes the test virtually. And then after the test, the provider that did the evaluator submits all of the information, all the data that they collected, all the answers that the student gave, they submit it. You know what it does? It does the whole evaluation for you. Does everything. You got to give it the information. This is what the schools are afraid of. You see, in my history, I have witnessed schools do their testing and literally omit key domains or key subtests. They use the grant to build state-of-the-art ball. Yes, they've always done that. They've always done that. It's disgusting. Meanwhile, we got a kid that's on the football team that can't read above a 6th grade level, and that's okay with them. They just push it through. Now the kid's trying to get into college, can't get in college. Can't read. Colleges are asking for stuff. But anyway, so the reason why the schools really don't want to do the virtual testing is because the virtual testing, you know, the parent will be in the room. Kids, I'm picking up hair. My hair's falling all over the place. The kid is taking their test virtually in his own home, which means the parent can be sitting right there in the room and listening to how the tester is doing the test. Now, here's the thing. As long as the parent doesn't interfere, that's good. But see, the parent is watching everything that's being done and how it's being done. And then when the report is generated, we'll be able to see. Now, for instance, the WISC-5, you can get a sample WISC-5 off Pearson Clinical. So while the person is doing the test, you can follow along with a copy of the test. So now you can't say, why didn't you do that section? You can't say none of that during the test. You can't interfere with the test. Hopi, you did it. Hey, girl. That's my sister. Doesn't that possibly change the outcome of the test? How? I don't understand what you're talking about. How can that out? For who? Doesn't change the outcome of the test. If somebody told you that, they're full of doo-doo. Try not to make me swear, Diane. Okay, let me tell you about what the testing does. The testing, if you have a kid that is not a good tester, okay? So you take a kid and you go bring him to school, and 9 times out of 10, the person that's given the test is somebody the kid doesn't know. So you have a kid with a disability. So let's say your kid is anxious, your kid has ADD, he's very fidgety, has very doesn't pay attention, or has no social skills. A lot of things. All the things that make a child with a disability, that have a disability. Okay. So if the kid doesn't get enough sleep, if the kid doesn't take enough breaks during the testing, if the kid is anxious or upset or had a fight with their mother on the way to all of those variables have an impact on how well the kid will test. So let's flip it. Let's say the kid is in their own home. Their mommy is in the room somewhere. They're doing the test with the tester. The kid is calm. He's in surroundings where he feels safe. If he needs a drink, his mom's right there, give him a drink. If he needs a break, the mom will say he needs a break. He's flipping out, he needs a break. Can we break now? And so now you can get the best testing results that will represent your kid. Okay? Very interesting. Today's topic. Thank you. No problem. So that's why you have to be aware. These are all things now that like a school psychologist, a person that's a psychologist, they all know these factors, these variables that could interfere. I know stuff, but that should hope. This is old as dirt. It's my consignment shop. You should see it in front. Very nice. My sister Hope is a fashion girl. She's a fashionista. She buys all my stuff. before I can even put it in the store. That's what she does. So if you guys can't have it, it's because she got it. She said she has first dibs. She does to me all the time. I can't even show her the stuff because she'll buy it all. She's bad. But anyway, thank you, Hope. So when you have anybody that's doing an evaluation, you have a BCBA, and they're doing a functional behavioral assessment. Believe me when I tell you, they know about these variables, and they have to account for them. They have to understand that this type of behavior, this type of situation, this environment, the lack of food, and they'll do an interview with the mom, and they'll say, did he eat today? Did he have a good night's rest? They'll tell you. It's like going for a test in a hospital. If you go to do something in the hospital, what do they tell you? Make sure you have a good night's sleep. Don't eat after this. Make sure, you don't drink anything after this. Make sure that, you don't take any medicine. They give you all of the things not to do or to make sure that you do, so that when you go for the exam or the test or whatever you're doing at the hospital, the operation, none of those things will interfere. One of the things they tell you when you go into the hospital is don't take any, aspirin if you're going for an operation. You know why? Aspirin thins your blood. You're having an operation and your blood's thin. It's going to be blood all over the place. So don't do that. You're going to have a problem. So it's the same type of thing when your kid is being tested in school. So to me, as an advocate, being able to have my kid tested virtually, it's all good. Because now, whatever the test results are, I know it's going to be a more accurate representation of what my kid can do in that particular area. Okay? And that's what we want to know. We want to know what the kid can do and what the kid can't do. Because of 9 times out of 10, you guys go back and read some of those evaluations. You know what they'll say? Sometimes they'll actually say, given yada, 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 this is not a clear representation. This is not an accurate representation of what the kid could possibly do because of the kid not paying attention, the kid being redirected, the kid getting up and back and forth. All of those things play a role. Okay? That's what you have to remember. So that's why I like virtual assessments. Now, for the school part, the reason why the school told my parent that, let me tell you why. They said it lacks fidelity. There's like 5 things a testing instrument has to make sure it includes in order for it to be deemed valid and reliable. And one of them is fidelity. So that's what they said. It would lack, the testing would lack fidelity. It's a bad thing if it doesn't have that. I'll just say it like that. And I really want to look it up right now. I'm tired. I don't want to, but I could. If somebody wants me to, I will. But anyway, so what the teacher really wanted, because what the teacher really wanted to know, what the real reason behind that answer was, none of their people are trained to do the virtual testing. Now, they knew this kid was getting homeschooled from the giddy up. They're providing this special ed teacher. They're providing and funding the speech and language pathologist. So they knew that they had to be prepared for this. And every year they say they need the kid to come to the school. The kid hasn't been inside of this school building for 5 years. 5 years. Okay. And there's a reason for it. And the school's trying to pretend the reason doesn't exist anymore because they said so. Bite me. Okay. Now, here's what I am going to tell you. But that's because that's how it was all done. Right. That's what I was telling you guys earlier. Because of COVID, all of these doors opened. Team meetings are now Zoom. It was never before. Okay. Now we can get the kid tested. And you know what OSEP said? There's a letter, March 2020. And it says, don't play. Just because schools closed and the kids are getting virtual learning, which hardly any of them did because the schools are stupid. Okay? We're in the 21st century. These idiots didn't think that Zoom meetings should be done. They're so stupid. They travel all over the place within their school district to do meetings instead of using their computers that they carry with them everywhere they go. They're not the brightest bulbs on the Christmas tree. I'm just saying. And sometimes the way it should be. Exactly, Hope. So when you have to deal with stupid, because to me, that's just stupid. You can't call yourself an educator, to me, in any part of the field, administration, a teacher, and then have an excuse why you don't know how to do Zoom, or you don't know how to open up an app for a kid who has a tablet to help them talk and to express their wants and needs. You can't tell me you don't know how to open that app. And I'm saying that because that actually happened. A teacher told a parent that. How do I open up this app? How do I download this? I mean, seriously? Why don't you know this? You're an educator. Why? I'm sorry. But if you have a kid in your classroom that's walking around with some kind of device to help them communicate, you can't look the parent in the face and say you don't know how to operate that. What you need to do, because if I find out, I'm filing against the school. Because now you got my client with a person, a teacher, who doesn't know how to open an app. The kid actually had the app in her backpack that was hung over her chair. It was inside. All day. She's nonverbal. People wonder why I get so mad so quick. That's why. Because when I come up against stupid, it's like, I'm going to hurt you. I'm coming for you. And I'm not going to be nice about it. And I don't care what anybody says. You can say I'm unprofessional. You can say that's on nothing. You can say whatever you want. The bottom line is you should know better. And if you faffle, you faffle. That's all I'm going to say. Faffle. Find out. That's what it's all about. So that's why I think virtual, everything is wonderful. They say, well, my kid needs to be amongst other kids. Why? Because they have people in this field that don't care. Yeah, including parents, unfortunately. Yes, some of them. Some of them hope. Not all of them. The ones that are here, they care. That's why they're here. Watch it. So anyway, can you see the chat, Hope? You didn't tell me if you could see it yet. Exactly. What the hell? What the hell? So what we have to do is we have to know more than they want us to know. And that's why they can't deal with me. Because my brain works in such a way that I ask questions like, well, I don't understand. So you're telling me that your people can't do the test. I know. Okay. You're telling me that your people can't do this, not because it lacks fidelity. In the email that I sent, I checked her. No, it's okay. I checked her at the door because she thought she was dealing with somebody who didn't know. And so now she just got checked. And so now there's a problem that's about to happen. And she doesn't see it coming because they're stupid. Because they think they got the Department of Education in their back pocket. And 9 times out of 10, they do. But then, you get to DC and not so much. I wish more parents would be. I know. But we're going to get there, Alma, because you guys are helping me and I love it. You have no idea. This is so much fun. To watch it grow like it has. It's just in a matter of a couple of months. It's unbelievable. So the main chat is on YouTube. It looks like Hope not here on Facebook. Hope, what are you doing? So you can't see the chat on Facebook? I didn't know that. I thought you could. But anyway, so Hope, if you can't, go to the YouTube channel. Click on it again, and the Facebook one will take you to YouTube. So if you click the link. So that's why I'm segueing into something I'm about to show you guys, which is really, really cool. We've all had problems with school districts, and they say, I thought I got it right. You can see the chat? So we've all had this problem. Rachel, you can, but it's glitchy. It's there and then it goes away. You know what? Go to YouTube. I got there's something here. It keeps popping up when streaming to a profile. It says viewer comments won't show up unless the stream is public on Facebook. It is by default. It's friends only. I don't know what it's talking about. Stupid. I did that. I made it public. I don't know why, but I'll fix it. That's why I'm on the chat. I know you're on the, but can you see other people talking? Can you see other people's chat? You see the chat, Alma? I know what. You know what, Rachel? I bet you're on my other. I have two Facebooks. One is the Facebook profile page, and the other one is the Facebook page where my where this is. Just Rachel. Oh, you see just Rachel? Now that I'm on YouTube. Okay. All right. It's delayed. Is it on Facebook that has me with the glasses on, Rachel? My profile picture, does it have glasses? Here, I should just shut that one off. Wait, I'm gonna check something. Wait a minute. Okay, it says live. Yeah, okay. I know what the problem is, Rachel. Okay, this is the page you want to go to. Okay. Okay, Rachel, you're on my other page. No glasses? Because when I just pulled it up, I could see everything. That's weird. I could see the chat right under the or is it just some? Wait. Do that. Okay. I just saw everything. Whoops. Okay, I just saw it. I seen Diane's comment about me being in the wrong spot. Okay. This is gonna be we're gonna do a show just on this. I can't see what you guys are seeing. So it's telling me that I have to go into my profile picture and I have to do something. But I don't know. Barbara's on YouTube. I don't know why it's delayed. Stupid. Alma, is it delayed for you? Okay, Hope. Because I can see when I go on my page, I can see all of the comments. I don't know. Almost so funny. So funny. Oh, okay. As long as I can watch it, I'm happy. I don't need to see all the comments. Okay. But if you want to make one, just throw one in there. Okay. So like I said, a lot of people think that their kid if their kid has special needs, they always talk about social skills and all of that. Not for nothing. Okay, good, Alma. If my child, if I had a child that was school age and my kid had a disability, okay, and my kid had a disability, I'm sorry, but I would do everything in my power not, and this is me. This is me. Okay. My kid would be at home virtual. Everything. Or I would get somebody to come in because I don't want my kid. I'm sorry, but there's too many things going on in public schools. It's just too much. Bullying. They look for our kids. And see, I'm a crazy person. I will file charges on a kid in a minute. I don't care. I'll bring them right in front of a judge. I've done that before, by the way. I did it in Massachusetts twice. And the school actually said they can't do that. Told me I couldn't do it. I said, bet. See all you parents in court. You got one more again to touch her. And the problem was the girl was sleeping with all her friends' boyfriends. She wasn't even special needs. But anyway, I told her, stop doing that. And then I told the parents, if they put their hands on her again, I'm going to contact the courts. And I'm going to get stay away orders for all of you. And if you do something, I'll get you. And the school actually said that school person, I don't know who he was, but I just looked at him. I said, do you know there's something wrong with you? I told him. I said, I can't believe you just said I can't do it. Want him back? I just did it. I just did it in Brockton. You want to play? Tell me I can't do it. Of course I can do it. Just because it's never, listen, guys, just because something's never been done before by somebody doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means they didn't do it yet. And that's the whole thing about thinking outside of the box. And that's why people can't deal with me, because I don't think inside their stupid little box. Their box is this big. Mine is the whole damn world. That's how I look at stuff. That's how I do it. And that's why they don't like me. Because they, in their mind, like one time, I told you guys this, I think, before, but one time I go to my son's team meeting and there's like 20 people there. And every single teacher, my kids are getting D's and F's. And they're passing him to the next grade. So I'm like, what? What are you people doing? I don't know what this camera's doing. It's irritating me. So as I'm going around the room, I'm asking them, what are his grades? And they said D's and F's. I said, without the zeros. And they got the zeros for not doing his homework. And one of the teachers says, it's impossible until it's done. Exactly, man. Exactly. So I said, so when I go around the room, I said, well, wait a minute. My son's getting D's and F's in these classes because he's not doing his homework, but he's passing the weekly test on Friday? Yes. And I said, you got a problem with that? I don't understand what the problem is. What is the problem? And then I had to break it down to the teachers. I said, so let me get this straight. Isn't the purpose of homework to reinforce what they learned during the day? Yes. My son didn't do his homework, but he passed the test? Yes. That means you did your job. I don't understand why you have a problem with that. Well, Miss Joya, that's not the way this works. I said, it is the way. How about you not give him homework? How about we do that? Then my son said that they would, my son would tell me all the time, I forgot my books. Good. So I went to the school and I said, I need a set of books for home. They said, we can't do that. Why? Well, we can't. I said, listen, when he brings the next book home, it's staying home. My son had 2 sets of books, one at school, one at home. Now, where's his homework? And this is before they put everything on the internet. See, this is what I'm talking about. The only time these people want to use the internet is when it suits their needs. Okay. When it means less work for them, they don't want to, they that's what they want to do. So less work means you don't have to have conversations with the parents, because all the parents know what homeworkers do, because it's on their system that all the parents and all the kids have access to. That's okay. But doing a virtual meeting, not so much. Doing virtual learning, not so much. You know why? Because there's a whole bunch of teachers that are going to be out of a job. So now school isn't going to cost that much with virtual, with the option to do virtual learning. It's just not going to cost that much because there's not going to be that many people there. I wanted Rachel to do virtual for school. She didn't because she would miss her classmates. Well, I mean, your daughter was older and she was already doing that. But if she was being bullied at school, I'm pretty sure your daughter wouldn't want to go to school. There's a big difference. And your daughter was in a special ed classroom where she mostly dealt with just her kids. She wasn't in the general population. That's like being virtual. Okay, I mean, you are good. My kid says the same thing, but as adults, we don't work 8 hours a day to go home and work another 2 hours. No, we don't. But you got to pick your poison. Like I said, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody because people have different lives. They have 2 parents that work. They have to work. So you can't have a kid sitting at home. But I'm telling you people, the public school system as we know it is about to be changed. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be less hours. I went to high school in Florida. I only went to high school for half a day because the town where I lived, they didn't have a big enough school for all the population to go to the high school in that town. So they had 2 sessions. The lower class, the 9th and 10th graders went in the afternoon, and the 11th and 12th graders went in the morning. We only went to school for half a day. No, you don't understand. If your kid can do that's not what I was trying to say, Diane. My son didn't need homework to reinforce what the teachers told him all week because he could pass the test. The whole point is so that it'll prepare the kids for the test at the end of the week. Okay? And those grades determine whether your kid will pass or fail that school year in that class. But if my son was getting A's and B's and sometimes some C's, because I got all the grades, when I asked them to just give me just the grades that they did give him without the zeros, my son was an A-B student. He was an A-B student in every single one of his classes. And that's why, remember the half days you do? And that's why I said he doesn't need homework. And that's part of it, Diane, is that they have brainwashed us into thinking, not me, because I don't give a shit. I think outside of the box, like I said. And just because something has been done a certain way for eternity doesn't mean it has to stay that way. We have to grow. We're in the 21st century. You know what I noticed? People know how to adapt when it comes to these damn phones and computers and stuff. I'm 66 years old, and I know more about computers than my own son and some of my nephews and nieces. Because you have to learn to adapt. Because if you don't grow. And it doesn't mean it's right. That's right. You gotta look at your situation. That's why I premised everything. This is what I would do. Me. And this is the reason why. I don't want my kid going to school and possibly getting shot. I'm sorry. I don't want that. If there's a way that I could avoid that, and there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that school or that will happen. But it happens. It happens. I don't want it to happen with my kid. I don't want my kid anywhere near a school. You know, not for nothing. And my sister Hope is on here. She will tell you. Before my brothers and sisters hit first grade or kindergarten, back in the day, they didn't even have mandatory kindergarten. Before they hit first grade, my brothers and sisters, because we played school, I was the teacher because I was the oldest. We did our numbers. We did our name and address. We learned how to write the ABCs before they went to school. Before they went to school. I never teaching certificate. I didn't have that. And kids with disabilities can be taught foundational skills too. But because of the way people think, and because of the variables of just being life itself, everything that comes into just running a household and running a family and having a child with a disability, because of all of that, it's not that easy. It's just not. That's why I say you got to pick your battles. I'm telling you the options. You have to decide if that's something you want. I have parents that are educating their kids. I had a kid in Massachusetts. He was 3 years old when I started representing him. When I left, he was, I think, 6. And now I think he's about 16 or 17. When I met him, he was 3 years old. And he had he was nonverbal. I talked to the mother a couple of years ago, and she's like, Tammy, he's speaking in full sentences. Do you know where he got his education? At home. Mom got a teacher, speech and language, OT, PT, he had everything at home. He had a classroom downstairs in his basement. She wasn't rich. She was not rich. But her kid is happy. And he has friends. He has all of that. She said never again. It was too much to go through to help her kid. And she was constantly being afraid and constantly being harassed and constantly in a fight with the stupid school district. It's just bad. I understand. You guys don't know. I'm the oldest and the smartest. Definitely oldest. Don't know the smartest even. But yeah, you have to pick your lane. Okay. But it's hard to pick a lane when there's only one. It's easy to pick a lane if there's only one. When you have options, now you can branch out. Now you can give your kid an opportunity that your child may not otherwise have. Okay. For it not, because you didn't know. I learned stuff every single day. I learned stuff about special education. That's what I want to do. Homeschool my boy. He wants to see. That's what I'm talking about. See, Rachel? That's what I'm talking about. If your kid wants it, there's a way to do it. Did you guys know that if a school district agrees to if a school district approves of a home-based program for your kid, homeschool your kid, a special needs kid, you have to provide them. There's a protocol that has to be done. Okay. And every state has it. And once you met the protocol, you have to provide them with an educational plan and all that stuff. Okay. Now, there's two ways to do it. You can either homeschool your kid and the school district don't pay for shit. You pay for everything, but you just tell them what you're doing. Okay. Now that I have the virtual public schools on laptops, they still have to have an IEP. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to look different. I wish I never refer my son to special education. I know. I'll tell you a story about that. And a woman in Massachusetts who said, no, I don't want special education. It does nothing. And the state fought her. The school district fought her. It went all the way up. She appealed the decision that the judge found in the school district's favor, saying that the kid had to be on special education. OSEP said not so much. You cannot force a kid to be on special education, but you therefore cannot. That's why they have a special thing in there. And it says that you can revoke consent for special education. And if you revoke, and I've used it a couple of times, I'll tell you why later, but you can revoke consent for special education. Your kid goes into regular ed. You cannot get to school. For denial of FAPE if you revoke consent. But you always maintain your right. Let's say you revoke consent today for special education. No more special education for your kid. School can't say shit. They can't force you to put your kid. That's illegal. Okay. That means they're targeting your kid with a disability. They're treating your kid differently than everybody else's kid. They've decided they're the parents. They're not the parents. They think they are, but they're not the parents. So because the law has that piece in it that says you can revoke consent for special education, then the school has to put your kid in a regular ed class. Now your kid has regular ed everything. Now you instead of being on an IEP, you can get a 504. But like I said, 504s aren't worth the paper they're written on. So it's better not to have none if you're going to do that. Now I've done it in the past because the school wanted to fight me on everything. I said, well, good. Then I told the mother about her option. She said, okay, I want to do it. Because let's say you pull your kid off special education, you revoke consent for special education. 2 days later, you can start that whole process over again because you always maintain your right to access and to request special education. Now, when you request it again, they have to start all over again. They can't use anything that they got before. You have to start all over again from scratch. So your kid has to get tested again, all of that stuff. It's like wiping the slates clean when you do it. Yep. That's one of my schemes that I use against school districts. Rachel said, yes, I am doing 4 time for learning for him after school because the school is not teaching him. He is so behind, but I'm filling out the form for homeschool. Good. Is your kid on an IEP? Be careful, okay? Because, and I know this is so hard. Be careful because, like, what I used to tell my parents is, you can't help your kid. You can help your kid with their homework. You can't do it for them. You can't help them tweak it out. You got to let your kid. If your kid helping is, Mom, what is, how do I say this word? And you walk by and you go, oh, that's broom. And you keep walking. You don't sit down and try to figure out why the kid needs to know what the broom was and then tell the kid what to do because now you're doing your kid's homework. And you know what's going to happen? Let me tell you what's going to happen. He has an IEP. This is why you better listen to this. What's going to happen is your kids' grades at home are going to be way better than they are at school. And the school's going to say, She's doing beautiful. Doing beautiful because of the extra work you're giving. So here's what you do. You let the school know in writing that your kid is getting extra help. But you, if you're doing that, you should really fight them and file a complaint, because here's what you can do. The first time his grades start going up, I file a complaint. The only reason why his grades went up is because of what you did for your kid, and you want compensation for that. If you're paying for that, that's what you need to do. Okay? Because they're not teaching him. I know they're not. He has an IEP. Florida is mad at me for revoking consent to assess. Utah has admitted for. They can't be mad at you. They already wrote the damn IEP. That's what you say to them. Excuse you. You already wrote the IEP. What are you doing? Do you understand? And you show them the law. I'm using ABA therapy to help the. Okay, good. Good, Rachel. That's what my client did in Massachusetts. She actually had a BCBA, and the BCBA worked with the teacher and with the service providers so that he could learn in his house. And he did. He's old. The last time I talked was 2 years ago. He must be like almost 18 now. But Diane, I told you about that stupid state. Filed a complaint against Utah and are working on all new assessments in IE. I don't know what that means. In Utah? First of all, you tell them you got to file a complaint against Florida for writing that IEP. I told you. Florida's wrong. It was Florida's job. Did you get the email from OSEP yet? It was Florida's job to get the records. They had to request them. They didn't get the records. And then they wrote an IEP based on old shit. I mean, seriously? Good. See what I'm talking about, guys? It's already working. It's already working. But in order for it to work, you guys got to know about it. And you guys don't know. So that's why understanding your options, sometimes you get too many options and you get confused and it's a hot mess. But at least you have the information. You can't make an educated decision if you don't have answers, if you don't know what's available. And when I tell you, the school is never going to tell you about virtual anything, okay? I found out about it because a couple of years ago, Massachusetts was in the process of making this happen. And I was talking to the parent again, and I said, I wonder if they ever. And I went on, and here's the website. Ms. Duels from one that got a hold of me. Yes, doing a complaint on Florida. Good. Easy peasy. Let me show you guys something. Where's that sucker? Okay, good. And I lost it. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to show you what this is. Q Global. Oh, that's not what I want. Share screen. Share. Where's that? Okay, wait a minute. I gotta move some stuff. Why does this always happen to me? That's not what I want. Where'd it go? Okay. So, can you see this, guys? It changed everything that I do. It always changes. Okay, this is the one in Massachusetts. Can you guys see this? Let me know. Okay. It's a virtual online school currently serving over 1,200 students. Currently, this just started. Kindergarten through 12th grade in Massachusetts. And what I did is I looked it up and I asked for this particular what school districts are doing this. And so it told me. Can you guys see what I'm doing? You guys see this stuff? Let's see what we offer. Okay, so our online school curriculum is a high quality alternative to homeschooling that aligns with Massachusetts curriculum frameworks, encouraging critical thinking and teaching essentials knowledge. Oh, critical thinking. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Online elementary, middle, and high school with both flexible classrooms. Transparent communication, learning platform, free online and offline curriculum resources, free loaner Chromebook. I didn't even know that. While they are enrolled. So you don't even have to get them a computer. Okay. You know why? That's how they get access. Now there's a part in here that says that it's for special ed kids too. So and I do this. Let's see. Does the greater, what is the name of that? Commonwealth virtual school offer special education? Yes. Okay. Offer special education services to students and IEPs and Section 504 plans, which means they have to be compliant with IDEA. Okay. GCVS is committed to providing a FAPE to all students, including those with disabilities, within the virtual setting. Okay. So, one of the parents said, but they didn't offer related services, and that the school district had to do that. And I'm like, and that's fine with me. I don't give a shit. Works for me. Because what the school now has to do is send over a speech. They have to provide the speech and language, the OT, whatever it is the kid needs. They have to provide that separately in order for the IEP to be implemented. But I don't know, that may have changed, because I got a kid right now that's getting speech and language virtually. So, and the school's paying for it. So who is in place? Valerie, I don't know who the, what is it? The federal special, the OSEP director. I don't know who that is. I don't care. Well, wait, let me look. I could look. Let me look. Wait. OSEP, special education director. Oh, she left, and they're still showing her office of the director. Let me see. They're not naming a person. You know why? They combined it all into that ding dong. Robert Kennedy Jr. Erica Waters. Are you sure? I just looked in it. Okay, let me just do it again. OSEP, Erica Waters. Why did I see that name before? Staff directory. It's vacant. Director again, deputy. She's not the director. David Cantrell, it's vacant, is the deputy director, and Erica Waters works under him. So it's David Cantrell. But the spot is vacant. That's what they're saying. So she works under Erica. She's under the deputy. So she's a few rungs down, but she's still high up. So that's good to know. I didn't even know. So it's been empty since Valerie left, which was right after Homie got in office. So anyway, so the other thing that I wanted to tell you is that under IDEA, when they're doing the testing for your kid, I forgot to tell you guys this. So the schools will say, well, we can't do that. You have to come to the school. That's not true. And under IDEA, okay, under IDEA, let me see if I can pull it up again. Special education is defined as being obtained in various settings, okay? For instance, the reason why is because you might have a kid in a private school. What does that mean? So the kid doesn't get special education because they're in a private school? I mean, they can't get tested. because they're in a private school. That's stupid. They have to go all the way back to the public school? No, that's not how that works. At all. At all. Okay. I can't see it. Okay. So here's what. Okay. Here it is right here. So special education, the law, as defined by OSEP, means specially designed instruction at no cost to the parents to meet the unique needs of a child with a disability, including instruction conducted in the classroom, in the home, in hospitals and institutions, and in other settings. Virtual learning, other settings. Okay. So when the school district says, so if the instruction is conducted, that's the same law that you would use for the evaluation. Okay. Because in order for the kid to be determined if they're going to need this, they have to be evaluated. And if they're not in school and they're in, another setting, then that means that they have to, they're going to go back to the public school? No, they're not doing that. That's stupid. Why would you pull the kid out of the home to go bring him back to the public school? And one of my clients hasn't been in school in 5 years. You want the kid to go do the testing in that situation? No, the kid's got to take the testing virtually. Please give her a like. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So that's how it's going to work coming up. They can't get around it. And as far as Q Global goes, as I said in my other video, I made a mistake because not all of the testing is on there, but most of the testing that the school districts use is on the Q Global for virtual. And there's a whole process they have to go get trained. I'm going to call Pearson Clinical and I'm going to find out if I can do it. Because I have the qualifications, I have a master's degree, but if all I have to do is fill out and see, and that's going to be a problem for the school because, would I have to be licensed to do that? See, I don't have to have a license to use I don't have to be licensed. I don't have to be to purchase the assessment. So say I wanted to buy the WISC 5. Okay. I need the credentials. I need to be, I need to have, and I have to go look at them because maybe they changed. Oh, thank you, Alma. Thank you guys. I forgot all about that. At the beginning, or during my thing, there's a thing that keeps popping up on Facebook and it's about purchasing stars. 1 star is 1 penny. And every time you buy me a star, it helps my channel grow and it helps me financially with my channel. And what'll happen is, if you buy, let's say you buy 100 stars, that's $1. And so you'll have to pay I think it's $1.40. So you pay 40 cents, I get $1. So, but it helps my channel and you can put as much into it as you want. Okay. That's why I like the stars. And that's why I like Buy Me a Coffee. If you look on my Facebook page, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link, and you can do that anytime. You can buy me a coffee, just show your support to help me continue. That you have no idea how much it helps. Everything that I do, the videos, while TikTok and Facebook and YouTube is all free, in order for me to get it there, I have to use other equipment. And I have to have a computer. I have to have one that stays up. Have internet that works on a regular basis. So my system is expensive. I had to buy a new computer because of this. But yeah, so any little bit helps. You have no idea. Most of my money goes into my business. It does. The only thing about homeschooling, the district says he won't get a diploma. Yeah, he better. No, absolutely not. That's a violation. What state do you live in? No, he can get a diploma. Because the homeschool, what you have to make sure is that the homeschooling program meets the state standards. If it meets the state standards, you can get it. You can get it. And they try to give kids, it depends too. I shouldn't say that. Okay, wait, let me do it this way. It depends on his disability. A lot of kids that have a disability, they can't meet the state criteria. So they do alternative state testing, or they're not going to get a diploma because they couldn't meet the state standards to get a regular diploma. So they'll give them a certificate that it is true. That has nothing to do with homeschooling. If he was at Springfield, Mass, Jesus, I hate that town. Those are some ignorant. Although Springfield got a new school superintendent, you might want to call her. I hear she's like open. She's not like the last person. Yeah. So I have a girl. I have a comrade in arms, and so I get all the dirt. I get the news, I should say, on Springfield. So you might want to contact them and find out why. Is it because, and if that's the only reason, then what you could do is you could find out what you can do to make it. If that's the only reason, then you can, yeah, been there, done that. I'm all set. Okay. No, said. But yeah, I don't know if that's the reason why he's getting a certificate, or if it's because even if he was in the public school, he'd still get a certificate. Okay. Because that happens a lot. Barbara's kid got a certificate. She didn't get a diploma. And she's smart as hell, but she couldn't get a diploma. But that's okay. Because here's the other thing, you guys, and the whole thing with Barbara is about transition. And there's even more stuff available when your kid becomes an adult. When they hit 22, we got some stuff. We got stuff in every single state. It's not just Massachusetts, every single state. And like I told Bob, it's still a fight. I mean, these people are crazy. And and when it comes to human services, it's as if they want people to have it because they want the money. So that then they have businesses. But at the same time, they don't want to give the services to the people for which they're getting the money for. Same thing as school district. Like I told Barbara, it's the same shit, different agency. That's how it works. That's really how it works. So you gotta be in for the long haul. If you're the type of person that you're always going to be involved with your kid, even when your kid is an adult, even if your kid goes to a residential or a day program, and he lives at home, you know, there's always going to be stuff that your kid can have. It's going to be stuff. I'm telling you, it's going to be stuff. They don't want to give it to you. Come over here. I'll show you how to get it. Then there's two different things. There's Mass Health, and then there's the HCBS waiver. I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff. You guys have no idea. But so I understand, yeah. I because that's a hard town. As far as the education piece goes, especially for special education, I'm not a big fan. That's why I want the homeschool so I can teach it. Yep. I mean, if he's going to get a certificate, whether he's in the public school or not, don't put yourself through that stupidness. Just don't do it. Okay. Don't pick your battles. That's what I'm going to tell you guys. Always, always, always pick your battles. Think long and hard about what you really want to do for your kid. And is it worth it? Sometimes it is worth the fight. Quick question. If the teacher said that the student did not learn the content of the class, but still pass the class, does that mean the school's better? Yeah, that's what it means. They're just passing them along. That's why one of the laws in IDEA says that it says something about pushing the kid through the system. You can't base about that law, and you're gonna make me go look up that law. But there's a law that has to do with that very thing, passing the kid along, and then saying, well, the kid doesn't need an IEP because the kid was passed to the next grade. No, because see what Congress did know when they developed IDEA is that there were some questionable people in this field. Best thing I could say. And that's me being nice. So they anticipated that, and so they put a law in place. And like I said, guys, you know, it's a lot of people say, well, OSEP doesn't do shit. OSEP does. OSEP does. Okay. and we've discussed it in Massachusetts and in South Carolina. They got in trouble too. Now, does that mean just because they got in trouble that yada, yada, yada? Here's what has to do. Once they get in trouble and we get the findings, we can't stop. We have to keep it. I just sent her another email. I said, so you told Massachusetts that they can't have a law regarding an IEE at public expense at no cost to the parent. And Massachusetts has a sliding scale and they had to change that law. So I sent her a copy of it and I said, it didn't change yet. I think we're way past the 90 days. What's going on? That's what I just sent it to her. You don't let up. You don't. You just can't. There's too many people that are counting on you and me because unfortunately, there's a few of us out here that have to do the heavy lifting and for everybody to benefit. And that's just the way it is. It is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. But try to get people to come out. A lot of people don't like to fight. They think it's bad. A lot of people just want to go with the flow. You know, whatever the school says. And that's why I tell, like, I've had clients like Barbara. I had to tell her several times, stop telling me to contact a parent. I'm not ever going to do that. The reason why is if the parent wants me, the parent knows where to find me. Okay? Just tell them where I'm at. But because I'm not an ambulance chaser. I'm not chasing parents to try to convince them about special education and their rights. They got to want to know. They got to come here in order for me to give them the information. That's what I did to my son. He's in 8th grade with a 1st grade education. He won't survive in high school. No. And they split the school system with public and empowerment zone. I heard about that empowerment zone. It's not good. And then they denied that it's even part of the public school system, you know. They denied it. They can't get their story straight. Yes. And they don't know who does what. Yes, exactly. Do we know the same person? I think we know the same person. You're absolutely right. That's the story I've been getting. So, and I went in on a couple of their stupid school committee meetings on YouTube. The old people. Yeah, it's all right. It's a joke. It's right. Yep. Back in a few months ago, and I guess before the new person came in, and I keep shaking this table. I got to make that sturdier. And they don't know. They didn't know what the left hand was doing. Right hand don't know what the left hand's doing. They're crazy. They're crazy. There's nothing we could do. But meet it head on and just call it what it is. And understand that just because they work in education does not necessarily mean they're smart. It's just like, you know, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're smart. It means we're smart enough to get people around you that are smart. You keep making dumb mistakes, though. So, I seen those on YouTube. I shake my head and it's so embarrassing. I know. It is. And they don't even think that people are looking at them going, what is wrong with you people? You go out of your way to do it wrong when it's so much easier just to do it right. And that's what people don't want to understand either, is that the schools don't want to understand that the idea, in order for them to get the money from OSA, they have to sign a contract that they're agreeing without any stipulations whatsoever to implement all of the regulations. All of it. And so they put their John Hancock on it, they agree, and they get the money. All they have to do from that point forward is read the directions. Just follow the instructions. It's step-by-step instructions for the public school to make sure they give your kid FAPE. It's 1 + 1 = 2. It's not hard. It's not hard. They think it's normal, and they don't realize how ass-fast. I think they're stuck on stupid because what they really want is the olden days. You know, 1950s. No offense to anybody born in 1950s. I was 59, so. But they want it where whatever the teacher said, that's what was right. That you can't question it. And that's what they believe. They can't. They have the same shitty education there. Yes. At least, when I graduated from high school in 1977, I got a better education than the kids are getting right now. And when I left high school in 1977, I was able to make $18,000 a year in a full-time 40-hour-a-week job working in a factory. 18,000. These kids can't make that now. I mean, now they have machines that tell you how much money to give back, because the reason why companies did that is because they were losing so much money because the people they put on the cash registers couldn't count back change. That's why they made that, to stop the mistakes. But they don't think that has anything to do with them. It's amazing to me how they just pretend that's not them. They have one job: educate children, teach them their 1, 2, 3s and their ABCs. Teach them how to read. Do us all a favor. Teach them how to read. I don't get it. Why would you want to be a teacher and there's a kid in your class that's failing, okay? Or they can't read. They can't spell cat. Why would you want that kid in your class for you not to help them? I don't understand what possesses you to get up in the morning, go to a job, and there are kids in your classroom that are failing. Why? I don't get it. What is wrong with you? That's a lazy person. There shouldn't be not one kid in any teacher's class that's failing. And if the kid is failing, then the teacher should have enough integrity to go to the principal, to go to the special ed director, to tell them the kid needs to be tested. But they won't. They don't want any kids tested. They just want the money. They just want the money because they're greedy. They're greedy. And then, see, what'll happen is that means work. That means somebody has to do stuff. That's what it's all about. Okay? That's what it's all about. And it makes me sick. I just want to smack somebody. I was going to say something else, but I just want to smack somebody. Who does that? Why would you go to work to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and doing it wrong? And nobody in your class knows how to do nothing. Why would you want to be in that classroom? Everybody in the classroom is not stupid. Hopefully when they are old and need help from one of those, that's right, they failed, they finally realize, oh, girl, I'm waiting for that day. Because you know what? Tammy been paying it forward. They're going to take care of Tammy. Oh, yeah. All the little children. Oh, yeah. All my clients, they're going to take care of Tammy. Yep. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Right, Barbara? They're going to take care of Tammy. I'm paying it forward. I protected them. So I don't know what's wrong with people. They're stupid and they all need to be smacked. But anyway, so I think I talked about, I talked about what I wanted for tonight. And this is going to be a short night because I'm tired. And I got to go figure out what's going on with my camera and my computer. I don't know why it's shaking so much. I don't understand. Anyway, I want to bid you all good night. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for participating. Please just spread the word. The more parents that know, the bigger our community. The bigger our community, the more power we have. Okay? They want to keep us small because then they can control us. That's what it's all about, control. Okay? When there is safety in numbers. There is. And we have a platform and we can speak out. And I'm telling you, you guys can come here and you can speak out. You can just let people know, look, share my page, share this information. If you think what this content is good, show me by getting people over to my YouTube channel and subscribing. Show me by getting people here on Facebook. Okay? We need people to know how to navigate this raggedy. The system is, I shouldn't say it's raggedy. The system is good. The laws are good as long as they implement them. If they actually implemented the laws, our kid would be, no matter what the disability, would be better. And it's not perfect, like one of my guys says, midlife Stockman. It's not perfect. It'll be better, though. We can make it better. We can't make it perfect, but we can make it better. Okay? Let's do this. Okay? Let's grow this community. It's growing every day, and I love it so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to say good night. Thank you guys all for coming. I love ya. I'll see you next Thursday, okay? But the people are raggedy. I know they are. What we're going to do, girl? We're going to do. I should have a new posting. I'm trying to do posts for Reels all the time, and I'm going to be posting up some new stuff on my new products. Take a look. All right, I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. Thank you. Mwah. Love you all. Don't give up the fight.